welcome to our show, Health and Wellness, Myth versus Facts. I'm Gargi Rawat. The definition of health goes way beyond the absence of disease. The pandemic has put mental as well as physical health and wellness into sharp focus. Awareness of health issues is important for visibility and community, and the absence, inaccessibility or inaccuracy of information about chronic illness causes a lack of knowledge, which is worsened then by myths, fear as well as an increased social media trust. Awareness of disease and symptoms is essential for screening and early detection. If members of the public are aware of a disease and its symptoms, then they're more likely to take action to prevent it from happening to them or go to healthcare providers for checkups. Also, chronic conditions like diabetes, heart disease come with complications associated with it. Therefore, it's essential to identify symptoms early and take corrective steps. Expert advice will help in a long way on that front. Joining us today on the show, we have Dr. Harshal Ekatpure, a consultant endocrinologist, Pune Super Speciality Clinic, Pune, and Dr. Anupam Verma, consultant physician, Jaipur Golden Hospital in Delhi. Thank you so much, doctors, for taking out time and joining us on the program today. Dr. Harshal, first to you, does the Omicron variant of COVID cause severe illness? What precautions should people with chronic conditions like diabetes take?
So far the data that is we are having with us regarding the Omicron variant, it's appeared to be spreading rapidly. So the mutations has caused the increased transmissibility, but disease severity per se or hospitalization rate per se has not yet been documented to go up. So especially in the patients who have taken the full doses or 2 doses of vaccine. So till now there is an increased transmissibility, but we will wait for the data to see whether it is causing a severe illness or increased hospitalization due to disease. But patients with chronic illnesses like diabetes, hypertension, first and most important thing, should get their vaccination doses complete. Those who have completed only 1 dose, go ahead and take the second dose of vaccine. Apart from that, the good control of their diabetes, hypertension, underlying comorbidities like heart failure is very essential, and be in touch with your healthcare providers online or in a whatever feasible way. And social distancing and masking is the most important and most effective measure to prevent the development of COVID-19 related infections.
Alright, now Dr. Verma, are people with heart conditions more at risk from this new strain of COVID? Can Omicron be detected by the RT-PCR test?
Heart conditions means cardiovascular diseases, involvement of heart as well as blood vessels. To whom a person is already suffering from cardiovascular disease, they are more prone to catch the COVID infections as well as to develop serious complications due to low immunity. Because they have already risk factor inside their body in the form of bad cholesterol, we can call it dyslipidemia, high blood pressure, and obesity is also there. During COVID infections, virus releases various types of inflammatory markers that first is going to injure the blood vessels. Then this injury can lead to formation of blood clots. These blood clots hamper the blood supply to the heart, and this hampering of blood supply to the heart can lead to various complications in the form of heart attacks. We can call as in medical terminology myocardial infarction, myocarditis, inflammation of cardiac muscles, as well as dysrhythmias, the electrical disturbance of heart rate. And these all 3 complications can lead to sudden death. So whenever the person is already existing cardiovascular disease, then this COVID infection is more lethal for them and more dreaded complications. Now, RT-PCR testing for Omicron we can do within 2 hours, but strain detection is still not possible.
Alright, for that it has to be sent to laboratories for the gene mapping. Now, Dr. Harshal, youngsters have been adversely affected by the lockdown. Their active lifestyle has been paused and screen time has increased significantly. Will this then lead to more number of young people getting type 2 diabetes?
Yes, quite true. We are seeing very young patients with type 2 diabetes recently. Reasons being various, especially the effect of a lockdown which has been ongoing since last 2 years. So more, less or decreased physical activity, work from home stress has gone up, and the food choices has become very limited. So whatever food choices are available, most of the time unhealthy food options, people are compelled to go with the unhealthy food options. All these have led to the increased incidence of obesity in young patients. Along with that, due to the change in the social lifestyle, because people being confined in home for a longer period of time, there are some degree of depressive symptoms that leads to the overeating, and that again leads to the obesity. So when obesity develops, the patients who are prone, like who have a strong family history of a diabetes, they do manifest with a hyperglycemia or a diabetes at a young age. So if you are one of the person who put on lots of weight in last 2 years time, have a family history of a diabetes or any symptoms suggestive of diabetes, you should screen yourself in terms of your fasting plasma glucose or test, HbA1c test, or if possible the 75-gram oral glucose tolerance test to detect the diabetes at earliest.
Right. Now, Dr. Verma, people of about 30 to 40 years of age are having heart attacks and serious heart problems. We seem to be hearing more of this in recent years. What is the main cause of this steep increase in heart problems among those who are considered younger?
Nowadays, heart problems are going rapidly in young due to their lifestyle. Very stressful working conditions, lack of physical activity, sedentary lifestyle that is causing obesity to them, and dyslipidemia means bad cholesterol. Non-nutritious diet they are taking in the form of fast food. Addiction of alcohol and smoking is very dangerous for them. So this is a rising trend in this age group. Now newer trend is to do a gymming. A very strenuous exercise can lead to sudden burst release of catecholamines that can adversely affect the heart problems. So they have to first make a good cardiac checkup, then go for this gymming exercises. And main role of their diet, high protein diet, as advised by their trainer. Sometimes anabolic steroids in the form of tablets or injectable form, so they are taking to shape their body as early as possible. So they have to avoid these things, and regular cardiac checkup should be mandatory in this age group.
Dr. Harshal, now if we talk more about indications, your body odor has an interesting ability to provide clues to overall health. Could a sweetish body odor be related to diabetes?
Your body has this unique ability to give you certain clues in terms of evolving illnesses, especially the chronic illnesses. So whenever your blood glucose level starts going above certain level, say 180 mg per dl, it starts appearing in your bodily fluids like urine or in a sweat also. And when patients tend to sweat more, especially they have a diabetes or a hyperglycemia, and when this sweat evaporates, whatever remains on the skin is the sugar or glucose. That gives the typical bodily odor. The presence of commensal bacteria can lead to the fermentation of that sugars and lead to the odor. Plus that additional blood glucose levels on your skin leads to the repeated fungal infections. Similar is true about the repeated genital infection also. The blood glucose level when crosses above 180 starts appearing in urine also, and then patient starts getting the genital fungal infections. So repeated genital fungal infections, repeated fungal infections of the skin which are not healing despite the repeated antifungal treatments could be the early indications for diabetes. So the people suffering from these kind of ailments should get themselves screened for elevated blood glucose levels in form of lab testing.
Right. Now, Dr. Verma, there's a lot of misinformation about self-care that can be done during a heart attack. Can a person really help himself during a heart attack? If yes, how or what steps should a person take?
Regarding self-care during acute attack of heart attack, but we have to keep in mind always a first hour of heart attack treatment is the golden hour. So we need not to follow any sort of myth. First we have to call nearby ambulance for hospitalization. Only one thing you can do at home, you can take aspirin 300 mg as a single dose at home. Then next call to be your colleague or either relative for transportation in ambulance along with hospitalization, because the diagnosis as early as possible and treatment can prevent a serious complication of this heart attack. So only a single thing is there to call ambulance and rush to the hospital for acute heart attack.
All right, so not try too much at home and ensure that you get to the hospital, to a doctor as soon as possible. Well, we'll slip into a short break now, doctors, and return with more questions for you about managing your health. Welcome back. You're watching Health and Wellness, Myth versus Facts. We're talking about keeping ourselves healthy and looking out for symptoms. Dr. Harshal, diabetic complications can sometimes lead to death. Which are the complications that a person with diabetes should really watch out for?
Yeah. So when we talk about the complications, the majority of ones are vascular ones. In a medical language, we can divide it into macrovascular as well as microvascular complications. So vascular complications are really one that can actually lead to the mortality. So the cardiac heart attack or a stroke or a development of peripheral vascular disease which can lead to the ulcer or a gangrene of a foot. These are deadly complications which can lead to the death if not attended in a time. Along with that, other diabetic complications which can be termed as a microvascular complications like retinopathy, that is eye disease, CKD, that is a kidney disease. These can lead to a morbidity, more in terms of financial burden on a patient. So these two complications has to be avoided by keeping your diabetes under control from the beginning. Because when you develop a diabetes, initially for 5-10 years, even if your glycemic control is not very strict or adequate, you might not experience these complications, but suddenly you start developing complications, and after that you are really on a damage limitations. So screening of the blood glucose levels, along with that tight control of your blood pressure, checking of a cholesterol level, tight control of cholesterol levels, weight maintenance and physical activity, all these go hand in hand in long term in terms of preventing the complications associated with diabetes or for that matter any chronic disease.
Right. Now, Dr. Verma, sometimes due to hectic schedules, we're not able to exercise. So, does walking while doing daily chores at home or climbing stairs in the house work as a substitute for exercise?
Yes, very true. Climbing stairs is very good exercise at home as well as at your workplace, because it doesn't require equipped gymming conditions. It is very beneficial to strengthen normal as well as diseased cardiac muscles. You can burn calories very easily, you can lose desired weight, and you can train your lower body muscles as well as strengthening. Because once you are climbing upstairs, your whole body weight is in action. So climbing stairs without equipment is very good exercise during this pandemic at home as well as workplace.
Right. Now, Dr. Harshal, it said that diabetes is a potent silent killer. We can act if there are some symptoms, but can diabetes complications start appearing suddenly without any warning?
Yes. Definitely, especially in a type 1 diabetic patients, usually that occurs in kids or adolescents, they can present with a complication called as a diabetes ketoacidosis, in which body is not able to utilize the sugars properly because of lack of insulin, and the process of acidosis builds in. If not attended in a time, this can lead to a death also. Similarly, in a type 2 diabetic patients, those who are obese and develop the diabetes at adulthood, they can first time present with the macrovascular complications like I mentioned before, the heart attack or even a stroke. So they get admitted for heart attack and stroke, and that time they realize that their blood glucose levels are very high, and when we do the HbA1c, we come to know that this person is suffering from diabetes since quite a long time. So these are the complications which can actually lead to a sudden mortality or sudden death in the patients. So it is very essential to screen at least at-risk patients, those who have a strong family history of diabetes or obesity. So once in a year they should do their glucose tolerance test or HbA1c to detect these diabetes complications, diagnosis of diabetes very early. Similarly, other complications like which can increase the morbidity, like recurrent genital infections, recurrent skin fungal infections, which I have mentioned earlier, non-healing of the wounds, and recurrent infection of any body parts for that matter. These are the complications of even new onset diabetes or uncontrolled diabetes as well.
All right, so that's what to watch out for. Now, Dr. Verma, cardiac surgery is a stressful life event associated with physical and psychological impairments such as anxiety, fear, depression and pain. How does home-based cardiac rehabilitation help such people, especially during this time of pandemic?
Yes, very true. Best cardiac rehabilitation of any patient at home is togetherness. You have to give devoted time to come back for his normal conditions, because this is a major life event as a setback for him. So after cardiac surgery, any patient need diet on time that should be very nutritious, scheduled medications advised by treating physician, along with mild exercise including yoga is very good for him to come back for his normal life.
All right, well, thank you so much, doctors, for joining us on the program and telling us about the symptoms, what to watch out for, as well as caring at home. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.